guys, it's me again. I'm coming back with another video. I had a friend ask me if I would help him with his shading and stuff, and he couldn't quite understand where he needed to shade and all that. And then I was thinking about it, and I told him, you know, you got to pay attention to your light source and all that, and he couldn't quite grasp it. So that got me to thinking, you know, I should probably do a video on it to kind of give people an idea, well, at least how I do my shading. I'm sure there's like a standard with it, but yeah, so I'm gonna just kind of scribble up a head here to kind of shade by. I'm just gonna do it in black and white, I think, because that's the easiest to see with shading. We'll just kind of do this, just something really quick. How was everybody's Valentine's Day? Me and my husband, we actually went out the day before Valentine's Day to have dinner because I had to work the next day. So that's what we did. How did everybody else's go? Did you get any flowers or any some chocolate or any of that cool stuff? We didn't really get anything sweet. We got steak, so that was really yummy. How's everybody's week been going? All that. Been good? Mine's been fair. Can't complain. Been a lot going on and all that. Do some funky lips here. I'm not going to do this like super perfect or anything. This is basically just to show how I shade and all that. There's some ears. There we go. Let's do something with these eyes because that's creepy. Do this. And this goes for anything that you kind of work with as far as shading goes. There's a lot of things you got to kind of pay attention to with shading if you want to shade realistically, I suppose I should say. But the cool thing about art is you can kind of do whatever the heck you want, unless you do want to try to do kind of realistically. The best way to like do is look up pictures, and there's other tutorials and stuff, really good ones out there you can kind of look up to kind of get an idea on how to shade and all that. So just kind of do what you pick out what you want to draw and shade, and I'm kind of going to show you how to kind of how I shade, I guess, how I go by. So so we got a just standard face here. It's just really quickly scribbled up face. One thing you really want to ask yourself is, where do you want your light source to be? Now we'll do in yellow here. Well, we'll do in the dark yellow. Okay, say if your light source is here, or here, or here, or here. So you got these. If you want them there, you gotta think they're gonna be shining this way, that way, all that. You also have instances where you have light sources there, there, there. Not only that, but you also gotta take in consideration if the light source is gonna be behind the person. Say if it's right here, is it gonna be behind the person or in front of them? So you gotta really like pay attention to stuff like that when you go to do your shading and all that. And I'll show you what I mean. So say for instance, we have the light source here. We'll keep this as our light source. And it's coming down, it's like, yeah. Okay, say it's just directly beside of them. So if it is, a lot of your stuff's gonna be kind of just standardly over here. You gotta think, if the light's coming this way, that way, all the things that's blocking the light. So your nose will be blocking the light over here on this side. You got some, it'd be kind of doing this. Think of your shape of your body, of your head, of your whatever it is you're drawing. You got to think of all the shapes and all that. But pretty much this would be all be darkened over here if that were the case. You'll have like some going right here, all that. Gives a really cool, like, nicer look. Your nose is going to create a shadow if it's over here directly beside them. Now hair is going to be a completely different thing, but I'm just doing like a standard idea of where your shading needs to be on something. This goes for like, even if you have like a sphere, if it's just a circle and that light's coming down from there, you're going to have it like, it's just going to be right like that. That's actually a really good exercise, is to do a bunch of spheres and then have your light source be coming from all that. Okay, say if it is on here on the side, right there, but it's behind them. The fun thing about this is if it's behind them, you're going to have a little bit more shading going on still. But with this, you can also work with light, and I'll show you what I mean. If it's behind them, I had another friend who showed me a picture of a Lucky Charms box, and she was a little bit puzzled by why the edges of Lucky was lightened up. It was probably because that's where the light source was, if the light source was on their side. But behind them, you're going to have a very faint line of light kind of happening, like over here on the sides. You're going to have a very thin layer of light shining there. You can actually see it in actual pictures of people and stuff too. Well, it wouldn't be all the way down there, but yeah. That kind of gives you an idea for that. And you got the same way with if it's above them. The same whole idea. Let's just go ahead and erase all this off. Okay, so say if your light source is going to be up here. It's shining down. You're going to have your shadow is going to be actually doing this number. And if they had hair, you're going to have a lot of pretty glistening hair stuff going on up at the top. Or if they're bald, then you're going to have like, do your like little light lines up there. The eyes would be the same. You would still have that darken underneath, above the eyes there. Your nose would be like that. And it also depends on how bright the light can be when you're doing it. So if it's just a small little light, she kind of looks like she has a beard. But that's like just kind of how it is. The closer you go to the light, up here, up in this direction, you know, you'll have a lot more highlighting going on than shading. So do keep that in mind. If it's behind them, instead of directly above them, if it's up behind them, you're going to have a lot of shadowing going on. Think of it, as my husband was like saying, it's kind of like an eclipse kind of going on. So you're going to have a lot of shading going on right here. But your edges and stuff are going to be lit up like that. So now if it was in front of them, you're going to have very, very little shading going on, really. Like if it's just as minimal as shading can be, it's going to be very, very light kind of shading. You might have a little bit here on the side. So if it's above them and all that, you pretty much have a bright light shining in your face, and it's going to be a lot less shadows going on. So really it just depends on where you want the light to be and all that. So now if the light stays in front of them, but also like below them, that's where you get your kind of creepy light going, your shadowing going on. So if it's shining up, you're going to have like this kind of creepy this going on, like kind of like this ordeal. Again, the light's going up, so your shadows are going to be going up above instead of down here. You're going to have a lot less shadow going on down here, so you get some really creepy look going on with the shadows. Keep in mind, like if you are doing a face, your forehead does come out a little bit more over your eyes, you know, your eyebrows and stuff, so you're going to have a little bit of light going on right here. So very minimal shadowing down here. So yeah, I mean, it's very fun to play with. Again, the best thing you can really do is do the whole sphere thing and kind of get an idea from it of where your shadows and stuff needs to be. That's why they do the whole spherical thing and all that. So there's just a lot of practice with your lighting. I'm trying to think of anything else as far as lighting goes. If you have different color lighting, different color lights, you're gonna have a lot more fun with it, with the different colors. Say for instance, you got like a little blue fairy or something right here. You can have, and you're in a dark area, you can have some do what's based on the color a little bit. So have your, okay, it's like shining this way, so you're gonna have some this color going on. Say it's kind of in front of them, because it's giving off that kind of hue. You're going to have a lot more of that color bouncing off of your object or your character or whatever. So you're going to have a lot more shadows on this side of her, or him, or it, or whatever. But when you get up here towards the more lit up place, you're going to have this light of this fairy or whatever kind of very lightly touching that. And you might even have like just very slightly on the nose and stuff. When you do your eyes, you're gonna have a very like glisten with that as well. So there's a lot to take in when you're doing it. That's just a standard kind of thing they kind of teach you about where your light sources are. That's what you really need to pay attention to. Just pay attention to where the light's at. Look up pictures, or go out, I know it's like silly, but go take selfies of yourself in different lighting, and you see what I mean. Or turn away from the sun, or turn towards the sun when you're doing them, to just kind of get an idea. Use your hands if you need to see how shading and all that stuff works with hands, with just about any object. And when you go down to doing actual shadows being casted from the object, you gotta, okay, say for instance, if she is like just a floating head and is sitting on the ground, then again, that shadowing is going to be over here. If this fairy is going to be sitting here but kind of in front of her, so you're going to have shading kind of going over here. I know this is like a silly way of looking at it, like a floating head, but that's the best way I could like really explain it pretty much. So I hope that was kind of helpful. If you have any other questions about shading and all that, or I can do my best to answer it. It's just, that's the best way I could explain it, I guess, is that. So I guess I'll go ahead and just like finish this drawing up a little bit. I'll speed it up and show a certain light source. I'll do the one up here and have it kind of behind here so I can show you the lighting and stuff a little bit. So I'll show you guys how it turns out. So that's pretty much kind of what I was talking about with the light being back there over to the side, but kind of behind. You got this pretty like small line of light going on. That's where that comes from. So, but I hope that was a little bit helpful. Again, if you guys have any questions on anything as far as shading and stuff goes, I'll do my best to answer it. Or if highlighting goes, I can do my best to answer that as well. Just kind of look around for other tutorial videos, look at reference pictures, all that fun stuff, and just practice. It's really all there is to it. Thank you guys so much for watching this, and hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!